Five, four. That's three. Five, four, three, two. Yeah. And we back, and we back, and we back, and we back, and we back. Yeah. And we back. Thinking Out Loud podcast. You know what this is. You know who I am. It's your boy yLip. TOLPcast.com. Check it out for all the latest and greatest. And in the building tonight we got the Mrs.LIP. Mrs.LIP, how you doing, baby? Blessed and highly favored, I'm sure.
Yes, it's been a beautiful day, except for this nasty rain that's happening right now. But I'm feeling good. I'm feeling
Nasty.
good.
Oh, nasty.
Nasty.
Rain. But you still got the bright lights on you, so I love that.
Got to.
Looking
Got
beautiful. Look at your beautiful
Thank
self. Look at
Thank
your
you.
beautiful self. Anyway, time is limited, everybody. You already know what it is, so we got to jump straight into the shits. Jumping straight into the shits hot top. So, first and foremost, what's going on with this white lady that's been calling the police on these people? I will say my people. I will say the culture. She been calling the police on the culture. She's pissing me off, man. Young lady at Yale takes a nap in the study room. Call the police. Black family.
A student. Let's make sure it's clear. Like,
It
she
don't
went
matter.
there.
It don't matter if she was a student or not. She taking
I
a
think
nap.
it does matter because, I mean, if there's like a random person, like a random townie taking a nap on my college campus, I'd be
Ooh,
concerned.
what's a
But
townie?
this was a student.
What's a
somebody
townie?
who went to school there. A townie is somebody who just lives around the town.
Okay, so you
Who doesn't
believe
actually
that
go there.
we have to specify she was a student. So,
She's a
okay.
student.
Okay. So, she was a student. She took a nap. She was tired. She was doing her homework.
We've all done it. We've all done
We've
it.
all done it. So, with that being said, she called the police. Wrong or right?
Completely wrong. 1, she's super racist. 2, she's hella nosy.
Okay,
3,
hold
this
on.
girl is asleep. She couldn't possibly have been posing a threat to anyone. 4, if I'm not mistaken, multiple police came out. Like 4 cops came out, hassled the crap out of her to try and prove that she lived there, even though she opened the door to her room with her key in front of the cops.
Okay. Let's rewind. I wish I'm gonna get that sound bite next time, that rewind sound. But let's rewind. You said super racist, and I want everybody to know, like, what do you feel like when you see that story? What makes her racist to you?
What makes it racist to me is you can't tell me that she would have called the cops on a white person who was sleeping in her dorm. I don't believe it. You can't prove it to me. I don't know this woman from Adam, but given the times that we live in, and I think some of the freedoms racists have felt like they have to be themselves in the time of Trump, I truly believe that this was a racist act. She did it because she felt threatened because there was a black person sleeping where she also sleeps.
Okay.
Like in a public space that people are meant to inhabit at any point of the day. I mean, we all had these spaces in our dorms. Some public space, I mean, those couches be comfy as hell. And when you've been studying all night, working on a paper, you might try and get a couple winks before you get back into it. Like, it's not uncommon that this happens. And I do believe her racism was showing in this respect. And honestly, also the campus police, given the number of cops that they sent out for this complaint.
So you said her racism was showing.
Yeah, for everyone to see.
All right. So what do you think about the same person who called the police on, let's say, a group of individuals of a certain, let's say, colored tone, skin-wise?
Like this one? Like this color?
Enjoying themselves at a barbecue, calling the police saying it's illegal for you to use charcoal to grill your goddamn hot dogs and hamburgers. So I'm calling the police on you, motherfucker. Like, how do you feel about that?
It's just unfortunate because, I mean, whether or not that was actually an issue, this one is a little bit more difficult for me because if somebody's now, okay, correct me if I'm wrong with this story. They were using charcoal at a public grill in a public park,
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
What the hell else are you supposed to use on a public grill in a public park? What were they? My whole thing is like, what were they supposed to be doing?
Right. God forbid they bring a gas tank and somebody
Because
call it
that's
a
probably
bomb.
illegal. I
Yeah,
would guess gas is illegal. These can't possibly be electric grills at a public park. What were they
not at
supposed
all.
to be doing?
They were supposed to
And
not be there.
exactly, that's the whole thing. She believed that they were supposed to not be there. So she called in a bogus complaint to just try and get them in trouble and try and get them cleared out of an area that she felt they weren't meant to be in. And it's unfortunate with these situations because, you know, I'll be the first to say when you're in the wrong, you deserve your punishment, your due punishment, of course. But if you're literally just living life as a black person and you happen to be in public and the police get called on you just because you're alive and in a place, that's totally wrong and irreprehensible and just it's disgusting. You're a disgusting person.
So if you believe that, then you believe that there's a such thing as living while black.
Absolutely. Absolutely I do. I'll tell a super quick story because thankfully nothing happened to me, but I was driving home after a recent trip to visit my family in Detroit. Understandably, I got pulled over because I was speeding, but I was nervous. And I don't think I've told anybody that, but I was nervous because there have been too many stories of people being pulled, people, my brown people, my black people being pulled over for whatever reason and harm coming to them. And I was nervous. I had my phone recording in the cup holder just in
Mm.
case because I don't feel like I can truly receive my just punishment on the streets of Allen Park because I am black. I was concerned. And the fact that I have that fear in my heart as a person who is just driving their vehicle like I have the right to do, that's wrong. My culture here in America has shown me that I should be concerned about driving my car in this country.
Okay, I feel you on that, and I understand and receive that information. I want to say though, as devil's advocate, or as they like to say, mayonnaise devil's advocate. Um,
Mayonnaise.
mayonnaise. Yeah, we can go into that
Mayonnaise?
later.
Okay.
Um, the mayonnaise devil's advocate would say, "Well, why were you feeling nervous if you knew you were doing wrong? If you knew you were speeding?"
Oh, well, if I'm speeding and doing wrong, all I should expect is a speeding ticket, a reprimand, my due punishment, like I just said. But there are people out here who are doing whatever it is that they're doing, expecting potentially some due punishment and get much more than that. And that is the issue. A line has been crossed in this
Mm.
country to where I need to be concerned that I'm going to get more than a speeding ticket if I'm approached by the cops.
All
And
right.
that it's unfortunate and it's very sad. And as someone who I think has lived a pretty unscathed life, um, I'm I'm hurt that I need to feel that way in this country.
Right, and I've told you this before that whenever I feel like I'm followed by the police, I just turn into the next store or establishment or restaurant just to act like I'm supposed to be there because there is a certain trauma in our life when we grow up feeling like, okay, we're going to get pulled over, maybe
Yeah.
unjustly, maybe justly, but either way, the outcome is all dependent on the mentality of the officer who addressed it with you. So I feel
Of
like,
course, because with all of these situations, a moment before it happened, they probably never expected that this is something that would happen. And that's the unfortunate part is that
right, right.
we shouldn't expect that we're going to get pulled out of our vehicles or shot in our vehicles just
Jesus. Oof.
by just for existing. And
Yeah,
that's a scary reality that I think we have to live with that a lot of people don't have to live with.
you're right. Let's jump into the next hot take because this shit's getting depressing real quick. The continued
Sorry.
infighting, not your fault, boo. The continued infighting of being black versus pro black. So I'm continuing to see, and I mean not by Donald Glover and not by anybody before or even after him, but there are people within the culture who feel like, yeah, we got black people, but we also got pro blacks, and the pro blacks are the ones that love they black women and make babies with the black women to overpopulate society and perpetuate the culture and take us to the next level. And it's blah 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 bullshit, boo boo boo. So all I want to
Boo.
know is, from your perspective, what does it matter if you're black versus pro black? Does that take away to you in your mind from your experiences, which you just explained? You had to endure. And if I was
Yeah.
not the charismatic, beautiful young black man that I am, and you didn't marry me, but you were with someone else, would that make a difference between the fact that you still had to experience that situation? Go.
I guess my challenge with that is I don't know how you can be black and not pro black.
Mm.
Um, like, how could I not be interested in the progression of my race? Like black people and our culture and our struggles and our shared history is important to me, and I feel because of that I am pro black. Black people are important to me. I want them to do well, not necessarily at the detriment of any other race. I guess if that's the part I'm missing. Like,
No, it's not.
I'm
No,
not pro
no,
black because I
the,
want white people to lose. Like,
no, no, no. And that's the problem. I feel like is that so many people say you should be pro black, but being pro black means you have to invest your time and your energy into uplifting the community, and by that default, meaning you have to create a barrier around yourself in your life against anything that isn't black. And I don't agree with that. I'm just
no,
saying,
that's completely ridiculous and honestly unrealistic. Um, as much as, for example, even in my life, as much as I would love to spend every dollar I have on black businesses and black enterprises, I also have to think about how well my dollars are being used. And I mean, even when it comes to shopping at Meijer or Target, like, it's not always about where I'm spending my money, it's about how I'm spending my money. So I don't feel like I'm not pro black because I don't spend every waking moment like marching or commenting pro black things on Facebook. Like, I it's part of my everyday life because I am a person of color, and I take in this media and this news and things that are happening to us. I have these conversations and I support black to the extent that I can. And I think I do go out of my way a lot more than other people, not necessarily just black people, to make sure that people who look like me feel supported by me. But I'm not gonna like constantly be mad about things that are happening to black people in this country, because that, like, even with our last conversation, it's hella depressing, and my number one goal in this life is to be happy and love God. And
amen,
I'm not.
amen. Horns for God. Now I gotta address the choir right now. We got
Uh-oh.
shout out to Courtney Piegler. Man,
Hey,
Courtney, I miss you, Courtney.
way back.
Courtney, you are
That
my
goes
best
way back.
friend. Courtney, I miss you. We gonna talk offline. We got Will Pan, Crack Diesel in the building, and a bomb for him. My girl Denise, my boy AP, my man Mason Biggs, and John
Wow, we
Ray.
got a crowd
All in the
tonight.
they're all in the audience. Now I gotta say this though. I gotta represent the audience. Crack said it's just more of a way to separate us. Pro black versus black is a
Mm,
dumbass argument. I added the
it is.
ass, so that's a horn for me for ass. So pro black versus black is a dumb argument.
It
Talk
is.
that shit, Tony. They said bombs for you. So let's get through this final hot take. Thoughts on This Is America and the white girl who did the cover for feminism. Now, I don't know if you heard
What?
this. Exactly. So, there
What?
was a cover of This Is America.
Ugh.
What I like to say is a
Damn you,
remix.
YouTube. Like,
We gonna call it.
everyone feels like they can take whatever song they want and change. That is not. Just stop it. Stop it. Cut it out.
So,
Everyone, cut it out.
so this Canadian woman did basically a cover of This Is America, and she talked about well, uh, feminism. There is a distinction, in my opinion, between white feminism and black feminism. My man Craig Diesel said it's trash. It got 117K dislikes, which it should. So we drop a horn for that. But she did the shits. And she got Donkey of the Day today by C to God on the Breakfast Club because she basically took the same song, the same theme, the same tonation, and she basically was talking about like the woman's struggle, and she was talking about things that really weren't relevant to the impact that the original intent of the video had. And so, how many times are we going to allow something that means so much from an artistic perspective to be manipulated by the. If someone is saying that this is my oppressor, and then you let your oppressor take that from you and say, this is mine now. That's what they did to Donald Glover today. That's what they did to Childish Gambino. How do you feel about that? Without even hearing the shit, because the shit was garbage.
So I have two thoughts. One, if the question is how many times we're going to allow this to happen, I think in reality, there's not a whole lot we can do about it, because platforms like Facebook, YouTube, where you can create content and put it out there without supervision, they exist. And clearly this video, even to get 117,000 dislikes, she got a shit ton of views. People are watching it. They're talking about it. I mean, probably even after she got Donkey of the Day, she probably got her views skyrocketed.
Yep.
So it's becoming part of the conversation. Not to say that it shouldn't be, but there's not a whole lot we can do to stop someone from making ignorant content.
And in
now,
Crack's words, also not to interrupt you, and I apologize, but it got 1.1 million views, just to give you that factual statement. So go ahead. Boo!
It's just boo is right. Like it's unfortunate, because there's a lot of really amazing content out there that will never get that kind of airplay, stuff that actually deserves millions of views. And I think that's the part that upsets me the most, because whether or not this girl was truly trying to make some kind of impact by her cover, or if she was just doing some kind of clickbait, either way it worked. And that's unfortunate for the content makers out there who are trying to support and educate and uplift people and our culture in general. Like I don't know. It just seems unfair. It seems unfair, but I think it's on us to create content like this where a more positive message is being said.
And this is Thinking Out Loud. This is what she's talking about. Now, shameless plug, let them know what you do and where you're at.
Me?
No, you.
Okay. So I'm Tony of TOL Yarn Crafts. I recently, well, not recently, but I quit my job back in October to become a full-time crochet designer. Had some really great opportunities to work with yarn companies and craft stores. So I'm just kind of doing my thing here in Columbus, Ohio.
A true opportunistic entrepreneur. Give it up for a one-time applause. Now, I had to do that because we're going to dive into the topic and we got to hit it quick because time is limited. So, with that being said, first, is it right that once a woman is pregnant, a woman has complete control over said pregnancy? That's the question that I have for you right now. We gonna go down a rabbit hole. So just honest, raw response. Is it right?
As the yes or no question, the answer to that right now is yes. Yes, a woman has complete control over the status of a pregnancy once she becomes pregnant.
Why?
Because the pregnancy is happening to her body.
I'm trying to think.
Now, you didn't ask me if that was right or wrong.
No. I said, is it right?
If that was the case.
No, I said,
is it right? Is it right? You didn't ask me if it was right.
Okay, I'm going to let the audience tell you. I said, is it right? Because I'm reading it off a teleprompter. So, just like Trump, I'm reading off a teleprompter. Is it right that once pregnant, a woman has complete control over the pregnancy? And you said, yes or no, yes, it's right.
Okay, so if the question is it right? It is right because it's true, but is it fair?
Nah, we're not getting to the fair part. We're going to get to that. So, is it right? You said
yes. Yeah, it is. It is, okay, because that's the case. That's the reality of it. That's just what happened.
All right.
It's the way the body works.
All right, so we got that. It's right. Now, is it fair?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Explain why you think it's not fair.
Because the impact of that child is not only on her. I think, the impact of a child, of bringing life into the world, is not only on the mother, it's not only on the father. There's families involved. There's potential, need from our community to help support that child. There's government assistance that comes. There's a lot of things involved with bringing a child into the world, a lot of possibilities. of situations that can make that child a responsibility for more than just the mother.
Okay, so explain to the people how something can be right but not fair. Ooh, you on the hot
Um,
seat. Ooh, you
what?
said it was right, but it wasn't fair.
Did
The
somebody just call me a Nazi? Is that what you said?
No, I said, do you
Oh,
think that it's right but not fair? I said, explain that to the people. Nobody's a Nazi. Nobody, hold on.
I thought I
Boo
heard
all
something about Nazi. Okay,
Nazis. I got a
sorry.
boo in the background. Let me boo that because I didn't say that. No
I was
one
like,
said
what?
that.
What about Nazis?
She's trying
Okay.
to sabotage the podcast,
I,
y'all. She's trying to
I'm not.
sabotage the
I'm not.
podcast.
I
No
just
one
want to
said,
make sure
I
I
ain't say
heard.
shit about Nazis. We talking about American blacks. Okay? So, how is it right but not fair?
So I am a pro-choice woman in America. I do believe that a woman has a right to choose what happens with her body based on our current legislation. When it comes to a woman becoming pregnant, I believe that they ultimately, in our current legislation, have sole responsibility over whether or not that child is brought to term, whether that child is terminated, whether that child is potentially put up for adoption, whether that child is taken care of in their home, given to somebody else, whatever it happens to be. I do believe that the woman has the final say on that because that child is a part of her body. That is a part of her person, and it's
Is
her
it not a part
choice
of the
what
man's
happens
body
with it.
either?
That baby's growing in that woman's body. It
Did
is
the
part of
baby,
her body.
right, it's a part of her body, right?
Biologically speaking, we're not talking theoretically, we're not talking emotionally, that baby's part of him. Biologically speaking, that baby is part of that woman's body and it's her choice what
Biologically
happens to it.
speaking, he's a part of that child. He provided the DNA. He provided the mating aspect, the
I'm talking
sperm.
about where the baby actually
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
resides.
Turn them. Turn. Oh, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Turn them volumes down.
My nigga.
I'm talking about where the baby resides. That baby is going to grow into a baby in that woman's body.
Okay, so with that being said, if that baby is going to grow into that woman's body, is it the responsibility of that woman to protect her womb from someone who's not going to be an active participant in the raising and presence of a father in that child's life?
I feel like that's a rhetorical question.
How so?
So, what is your real
The
question?
real
What are you
question
really
is
asking
the
me?
real question is should there be an opt out option for the niggas out there, for the men? Should there
Like,
be
just
an
ask
opt
me a
out?
question.
Should there be an opt out option? If I opt
I
out, if we have sex, if you and I never were married, the 8 beautiful years we've been married,
beautiful.
congratulations to us. Got the
Yes.
clap going. But if we weren't married and we were just dating, or matter of fact, fuck it, we weren't dating. We was at the club kicking it. You saw me, stunting on these hoes. I just came through with the '04 Taurus, sitting on
Oh, for
12s,
Taurus.
with a little bit of
Nice.
noise, a little bit of back
So
shot.
impressive. So
Hey,
impressive.
hey, I do my thing. I got the Taurus on bump, but you heard them two
Okay.
12s though, and you heard me step out, and you saw me step out with the J's on, and I was like, "Hey, mommy, what's good, baby? What's going on with you?" Ah, la 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 la, blah blah blah. We end up back at the apartment or my mom's house, whichever we reach first,
Oh, your
and
mom's house.
okay. Oh shit. Damn. That was aggressive. We got to get back to my mom's house. Okay, we're gonna do a boo for that. Boo
I
you.
don't. I wouldn't guess that you have your own house.
Anyway, we get back to the spot, wherever that is. Whoever pays the rent. Thanks, mom. And we get it in. And then you tell me, a month later, hey, I got a little stomach ache. I'm feeling like it's a little uterus spreading.
Ugh.
I'm pregnant
Gross.
and you tell me I'm the father. Now I
Scandalous.
say, you know what? I don't even really know you like that. Let's go ahead and sever ties now. I don't really want to be a part of this. I never planned to have a child with you. We had a great time, but that was that. Should I have the option to opt out of any type of financial or physical responsibilities to that child? Go.
Yes, I do believe that you should. I to
I'm
kind of
sorry. Hold on one
clarify my
second. My
answer
mind was
earlier.
blown. Hold on one
What?
second. My mind, I couldn't conceive that a woman said yes, you have the option to opt out.
No, 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 no. I didn't say you have the option. I said
Whoa.
you asked me should you. And I think you
Oh,
should. You don't
oh.
currently,
What's the difference though?
but I say you don't currently, under our current legislation, you as a man don't have the option of saying, I don't want to take care of this kid even though it's half mine. You don't have the option. But do I think you should? Do I think it should be a possibility? Do I think there should be legislation that allows a man and a woman to consent to him not being
Uh
part of
huh.
this kid's life?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I do. I think that is an extension of being a responsible adult. I think it's an opportunity that's overlooked because I think there would be a lot of emotion behind some kind of decision like that. But if two people decide no, he don't want to do it, and you sign that piece of paper saying, well, we consent to him giving up his parental rights for this child, I don't think that's a bad idea. I
I'm
don't.
with you. Oh my God, I can't believe. Oh, that's amazing to hear. And I gotta ask, finally, what brings you to that point? Because there are a lot of women, specifically black women, that have what is the ultimate age-old quote of these niggas ain't shit. They out here fucking and having all these babies and ain't giving a damn and not being a part of they babies' lives and fuck their niggas and blah 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 blah. Well, guess what? We can't proceed to have a child with you if you don't allow us to. And if I tell you I don't want a child, you have the option to terminate the birth. You have the option to take the morning after pill. You have the option, every option that I've named, it's you. You.
Yep.
The only option I have is to kill you. And I don't want to do that because I'm not a killer. I got on a hat right now that say thinking out loud, it's the summertime. I'm hot. Like I don't have that option. So help me understand how you got to that conclusion.
I guess I get to that conclusion because I feel like there are too many. I hear too many times of young ladies being disappointed when a man who has said to you, I can't, I don't want to, like I can't help you, I can't do this, have the baby anyway with fingers crossed that something changes, and then being disappointed down the line when they ultimately become single mothers.
Now I will give you this caveat to your point, and I don't mean to interrupt, but I am, because if a man tells you, "Oh, baby, we in it for the long run, baby," we doing this thing.
Oh,
I
that's a
love you.
whole different
Yeah,
story.
that's a,
Because
that's
because
he
I do
filed.
believe
He filed for that.
that's a whole different story. Yes,
Yeah,
he's foul,
yeah,
and that is one of those ain't shit nigga situations that I understand. When
yeah.
women say that, I think it's for a very
But
small
if we
percentage
hook up at
of
the
men
bar,
who exhibit those traits very early on in
but if
relationships.
we hook up
But
at the bar, if we hook up at the club, if we hook up at the grocery store,
this is my caveat for any kind of legal legislation for a man to absolve himself from his parental rights. It needs to be a consensual decision, probably determined through lawyers if you
mm,
can't do it on your own.
I'm with that.
I would almost say that absolving yourself from your child's life is almost like getting a divorce. It would be kind of the same in a legal sense. If she does not want to sign that piece of paper saying, I understand that you want to absolve yourself, you take her to court. Just like she would take you to court for child support or something like that. Like it has to, I believe, be something that you enter into as two people, as that couple, as the parents of that child. That would be my only caveat for something like this, that it has to be a consensual
I
decision. You
agree.
can't just one day show up with a piece of paper saying, sorry, I don't want to do this anymore.
Nah, you can't do that. But I will say this before I get to the final and closure of this discussion. There was a situation online I was in, and this, and I don't call women out their name in public, so I ain't gonna do it right now. But this beastly woman on Facebook went at me about the fact that I had this opinion. I asked a question, and she came at me and told me my mom should have swallowed me.
Oh
I
my God.
said, "Bitch, are you crazy? My mom is a single mother. Like, I know I am the seed of a mother who decided not to put the father of the child on papers." And I said that shit to her, and I'm like, in my most eloquent and respectful way, I said, "You are
In
the
your
reason."
TI voice. in
you
your
are the
Ti voice.
you are the well, in my TI was, you are the most eloquent of the individuals that could have possibly provided feedback on such situations, but you decided to be a big old bitch that I wish I knew your name so I could put you out there, but my phone is dead and I can't. So with that being said, when she said, I said my mom is a single mom. And my mom didn't put my father on child support because she made a decision to say that I'm a single mom. I'm going to have this child even though
Right,
my father did not want to continue with my birth. They
right.
separated and they did their thing. Like, that's where I get my laurels from. So that's why I have the opinion I have. And every female that I talk to, every woman, is like, I don't see how you could feel that way since you was the son or you the child of a single parent and blah, blah, blah. Your mom was single, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, that's why I feel the way I feel because
Yeah.
she had a different perspective. So I could not believe that she had the nerve to say that. And then I said, and you know what? That's the problem with the infighting in the black community because you talking blindly about another black woman that you don't even know is probably
Yeah.
twice your age, who I'm speaking on her behalf and saying that this is how I feel, and you just jump to your mom should have swallowed you. Like, what the fuck type of
That's
response?
disgusting. That's
It's
disgusting. These
so.
are the
And as
disgusting
soon
kind of
as
people. I mean, in all honesty, with a comment like that, she's no better than the woman who calls the cops on somebody who's sleeping in the dorms. Like those, I just feel like there's a level of ignorance with people that is just beyond me. For you to feel like you have the right to speak to someone that way is it's disgusting. She's
It's
a
the
disgusting
internet.
person.
It's the internet, and we gonna get into that whole like internet trolling and feeling all vivacious and Brody on the internet because can't nobody be touched. Trust me, we gonna go in on that. The final topic before we close this out, and this is a pretty simple one. What if the father would want you to have a child that you didn't want to have because of your aspirations and your current situation in your life? The father said, "You know what? I'll take the baby. I'm prepared to have him or her. I'm prepared. I'll take. I'm seeing the head shake. What does that mean? What does that mean?
No, no, because there's no workaround for that. That woman still has to carry that baby, and there are emotional, social, biological ramifications for carrying a child for 9 months. You can't tell me I have to have a baby.
But then I feel like that's disingenuous because I feel like there's so many women that are proponents of equality, but true equality would mean that if
And
I
we've
don't want,
had this conversation.
hold
You
on.
can't.
Let me say it for the
Oh
people though.
gosh.
Let me say it for the
Go ahead.
people.
Okay.
If you're pregnant and I don't
Hmm.
want to be a father, I'm saying absolve me from that responsibility. And if
Yep.
you're pregnant and you don't want to have the child, I'm saying I want to have the responsibility. But I
Go
don't get
adopt a
that.
baby. Go adopt a baby. You want to be a daddy so
Mm.
bad? Go adopt. Don't go adopt a kid. I'm not having it. I'm not having your baby. You want a baby so bad? Go get one.
You know what? Fuck it then. Let's scrap it out. So, Thinking Out Loud podcast, I'm coming upstairs. Let everybody know
I'm
we,
ready.
we
I'm
doing it
ready.
right
Let me
now.
let me get
And
my
let me,
gloves and my Vaseline. I'm ready.
no, we about to scrap this shit out because if I say I want to be the father of that child and you're telling me no, you're going to terminate the pregnancy
Tough
because
titties.
you're
Tough
selfish. You're
titties.
selfish.
Whatever.
Tough
Whatever.
titties. Don't nobody
My
even
body,
like
my
tough titties.
choice.
Don't nobody even like tough cookies. There's nothing in life that nobody likes that's tough. So you talk that shit. Here's the outro. Go ahead, let them know where they can find you because we about to fight. Go ahead.
At TL Yarncrafts
Not
on
physically,
Instagram and
not
YouTube.
physically. Everybody watching right now. I do not lay hands on my wife. I love her to death, baby. I love you, but we about to fight this shit out. So, TL Yarn Crafts, Instagram. Check her out with all that bullshit she talking, but her crafts are impeccable. They're perfect.
Yes, they are.
They are
Yes, they
top notch. Nah, she got me lit. She got me tight, heated. JLip, I am JLip at Instagram. At I am JLip on Instagram. Either way you want to do it. Stop laughing at your boy. And TOLPcast.com. Thinking Out Loud Podcast. Facebook Live. And
We
we
out.
out. Damn it. Bomb on that.